Fucking safe in E. Actually, it's not finished. Fucking LA. What is the beef?
Oué.
Roast put. I think that's where is the fat pig in French, which is always a good start to any podcast. Who knows?
You know what's a good start to a podcast? A year and a half chasing down the sub 25 5K. Bitch. Yes! Oh man, what a fucking feeling. I am now officially an average runner.
Sheffield Elite.
That's it, man. That's it. Tell you, my very first park run was 42 minutes.
Yeah, there we go. How long?
There you go.
A couple of years.
It was the first Saturday of 2019.
Fuck off.
Yeah, and I never ran before that.
Jesus Christ, man. So
and the first 4 or 5 months was run with shin splints. Then you can remember in June was plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
So I had my leg in an air cast for nearly 2 months, and then the end of July joined Sheffield, and then started to take it seriously, and then started to run and started to lose weight, and then started to learn how to better myself physically and mentally, and then started to have like-minded people to do it with, and then just start chipping away at it. Chipping. And then I got so fucking close last week. I did a live video afterwards, thanking everybody from here to there for my new time, because Strava clocked me at fucking 24:40, and then I got my official time from Parkrun, and it's 25:01, and I was bulling.
You were raging.
I was raging.
But this Saturday just gone, you fucking put it right, pal.
I did. I put it right, and I didn't leave any room for error. I gave myself an extra little bit of cushion. I brought some of Lance Armstrong with me when an old cyclist caffeine gel halfway through the 3rd kilometre. I had Limo, the bleeding ninja, running ahead of me. I was chasing him down. I turned down a staff party the night before. I got home early. I got up early. I stretched for like an hour. I ate really early, a few, just not loads, but I ate some porridge and fueled up a little bit rather than doing a fasted like I normally do. And then I cycled there, so it was fucking warm when I got there, and I just knew it. I knew all week, like, really, that I was going to smash it because I knew what I had in me. Yeah. But on the morning, it felt like it was going to be the day that it was going to be done. And then the second it was done, I was like, it's like, I have it. I'll wait for my official time. Time comes in, like, yes, get in, fucking delighted. And then I was looking at my average pace, and then I was looking at, I didn't get my fastest 1K, my fastest 1 mile, my fastest 2K, or my fastest 2 mile at all throughout that 5K.
Yeah, it was just consistent.
It was just paced better.
Lethal.
You know what I mean? It was just paced better. And that also means then that there's a lot of room for improvement still. So I'm going to get faster. I'm going to be faster this week. I'm going to be lighter this week. I'm going to be faster the week after. I'm going to be lighter the week after. And that's it. I'm a fucking runner now. I'm an average runner. Cam.
Savage. It's insane, man. It's mad to see the fucking, but the commitment to doing it and getting good and fucking getting fit, like you've pushed yourself to that level. You know what I mean? So fair play. It's a big part of it. The 5K is a cunt to fucking run because it's a weird distance. It's not a proper long distance event. It's not a fucking power speed event either. It's that middle ground of you need to be quick enough, but you need to fucking be able to pace yourself at the same time. You need to be able to last the fucking distance.
Yeah. Watching so many videos on running as well.
Yeah.
About trying to maintain your pace from the first 10 meters up until you've got like 60 meters to go. Maintain the exact same pace from start to finish.
Yeah.
And whatever your time is, that minus that 60 meters. So whatever your time is, so we use the blanket of 25. So if 25 minutes was your 5K, then your 4.6K is your 25 minutes for your next run.
Yeah.
And you pace that, and then you know when you have that pace, that last 600 meters is your bonus time. And whatever you can make up on that is your time that's coming off of your PB.
It's interesting. It's an interesting way of putting it. It is. It always goes back to that, That's a good thing we'll talk about, and I want to probably talk about that in another episode, because it's like, again, I get you guys to do a good bit of running when you get your weight down, and I think it's something that needs to be talked about. So yeah, fucking right on.
Well, the interval sessions, the interval sprints, what were we calling them?
It's
on the Tuesday, the hit sessions that we do on the Tuesdays and Thursdays on the cardio, they improve my times like big time.
Yeah, they're fucking death, man. Density runs are
the density runs. Yeah, they were the
longer time intervals. So I could have the lads going fucking, instead of like a hit session where it's like 15 second sprint, 10 seconds off. You know, it's like, no, 90 seconds on, and then like fucking slow pace for 120, 90 seconds on, slow pace for 120, or fucking 60 seconds on, 90 seconds off. You know,
and now I use that on the bike all the time as well.
Yeah,
and that's after building up my gas tank
massively. It's a very, very good way of getting your getting that power into your aerobic system, but it's also a way of building your capacity in less time. You don't have to fucking be on the bike for fucking 5 years to build up a good gas tank, as long as you can make better use of your time. So that's the idea there.
And this week I was looking at diaphragmatic breathing. So triathletes and endurance athletes, the whole breathe through your nose thing, they're like, that's not for speed or endurance. You're not getting as you quite simply get much more oxygen into your lungs, breathing through your mouth, and then getting it out through your belly and getting it all the way down and all the way out. And you've been showing us that from the start, you know, suck it in and bang. And then when I work that into the running, and then I counted it as well. So as I'm running on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then that kind of keeps my breathing under control. And then if I lose count of that, if I'm like, shit, I'm getting out of breath, because you shouldn't get out of breath in a 5K until you're ready to put the boot down and go and break your time. So I was like, right, go back there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Totally. Loving it.
Yeah, big time. The breathing's massive, man. Breathing is massive, and diaphragmatic breathing, like, you just got to imagine people don't fucking breathe properly a lot of the time anyway. They're usually hyperventilating as the sun shines right on my face there. It's always good. But it's this thing of maximal fucking air that you can take in and powerful exhales. And if you really focus in on that, it can give you this rhythm. It can really focus in on what you're doing. So again, focus on your breathing, guys, if you are doing some distance. Anyway, fucking totally separate to our podcast, but we'll get it on the fucking rails, lads. What we're talking about here is actually nutrition. So we're talking about the fact that the picking in the kitchen accumulates. I might close this curtain as we're waiting here. But basically, the kitchen.
Right, lads, now that I have it to myself, this is what we're going to do. We're going to storm Area 51. Oh, hey, Cam, what's the story? Let's go, yes. Let's just jump straight into it.
Aliens. Yeah, so what we're talking, the picking, we'll talk about that as well. Picking in the kitchen accumulates. So basically, for a lot of chefs, you know, you don't really eat properly. You don't
graze like cows, Cam.
Yeah, exactly.
You how many chefs before chef will say, like you say to them, so what do you eat when you're in work? And they say, no, I don't eat when I'm in work. What do you have for breakfast? I don't have breakfast. So you don't eat it? No, I don't really eat. But they do. They eat. We graze like cows, every one of us.
Every single one that I talk to is picked at some point in the game, you know? And it becomes such a fucking shitty little habit because it replaces the structure of actually eating at times, specified times. It's just this continual, like, order chips on, yeah, grand, cool, fucking plate that up. Oh, there's 3 or 4 left in the bowl there. Whoop, you know, get that into the fucking gob.
Chef's tax.
That's it. Paying the fucking mold toll, pal. Like
the bowl toll, 100%.
What are some of the examples that you remember from being in the kitchen? Like, what were you cooking that would you?
The reason why it's no chef escapes that is because every commis chef starts off on starters, and that's where you have your fucking
build a habit.
Build up these habits of grazing like cows. Chips is obviously number one. Like, obviously that's number one, and then people don't realize how much over the space of an evening that you can have sugar-wise or cream-wise when you're dipping into the sauces. Especially when you have a bain-marie and you've got 3 different types of jus, and you have a cream sauce, and you have a butter sauce, you have a béarnaise sauce. My one, chef, and I'll fucking, if I was allowed to, I'll go back to it tomorrow, was chips and béarnaise sauce. Oh, like my young fella says, he asked me the greatest questions, you know, like who would win in a fight, Tuesday or every spaghetti, that type of shit. But he was like, right, if you could eat any food from now forever and you never get fat from it, but you're only allowed to pick the one food, what would it be? Chips and béarnaise sauce.
I used to do this thing where I used to have fucking the starter and lox when I was working there. I used to be used to have a beef tartare on. After every single service, I'd mooch around to the side and I'd be like, fucking, any tartare on the go there, lads? There.
Is this where's the beef came from?
Oh, that was the seeds being planted and produced every night.
Do you know what I mean?
Fucking Tupperware full of beef tartare to the pastry chef. Then, pal, throw us on 4 or 5 of those bread rolls there that we haven't finished off. And it'd be like, fucking lather those fucking bread rolls straight out of the oven, fucking tartare in there, game over. And I was like, man, I haven't fucking eaten all day. I eat about 6 of these. I used to go out the side and smoke a joint then, and I'd come back and I'd fucking go to town on it. Worked at another place then where we had a soft scoop ice cream machine in the fucking back of the kitchen. So I had to mooch back and grab a fucking glass of that with a bit of chocolate brownie. You know what I mean? The old
chocolate brownies is a huge one as well, because you're making them every 2 days, and then when you're portioning them up, you have all the edges.
Yeah.
And you cut them up and you just put them on a bowl for everyone to eat. And when I say everyone, I mean don't fucking touch it. That's mine.
Yeah. We're using that. Yeah, man, fucking brutal. We used to get pets.
That's part of the job.
Yeah, big time. Bit shit like that. But again, that stuff accumulates massively, and even small little rituals. Like I was with Al Spare and we went into his work, and I was filming a bit for Chef Fit, and I was like, right, give us a look at what like picking in the kitchen, what you were doing picking in the kitchen. You know, we had a bit of some jelly tots in front of him. He had some fucking crisps. He had a packet of buttons, and he's like, this is exactly what I used to do. I was like, really?
Really working in a fucking cinema?
Hilarious. So it's like mood, like just sugary shite, just constantly.
Was this the chefs bringing it in, or the floor staff? Or
he said there was a shop across the way beside that would like literally the fucking car park at the garage is also the car park of the fucking restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like, God, they've always deals on for shite, and that garage goes in, grabs a few bits, and you're there. And it's like, fuck me, man. Like every single day you'd have something there under the bar or on your section or whatever, and you'd just be picking at it. If it's chips or whatever, it's always something that you're grazing on. What you got to realize is when you accumulate all those things together over the course of a week, that's a fucking enormous amount of calories. Same thing with like drinking cans of Coca-Cola. It's like, you know, if you're drinking 1 to 2 of those a day, which a lot of lads are, drinking a can of fucking Red Bull. I'll actually just Google here how much fucking how many calories in a Red Bull or a Coke.
Well, a Coke has 15 spoons, so 15 by 4.
Right.
60 grams.
Let me see, mate. Let me fucking see.
You know, while you're doing that, when I was working in a place called Jintai, the bar was on the other side of this glass wall where the kitchen was.
Yeah.
And the starters in a Thai restaurant is just pure heaven for pickers. You've got your chicken satay, you've got like your handmade spring rolls and samosas and panko prawns, and the chips are there as well. And the dessert section is beside the starter section, and then there's a door and that leads into the bar. And then the barman that was there loved to pick. The head mixologist was always a good friend of the kitchen.
Yeah.
So he's there. He has like splash Coke, and every 25 minutes he comes in with a tray with 5 glasses of splash Coke, and pops that down. And then we have a little ship bowl. So when you have all your bits and bobs, you know, if you're doing starters for 5 or 6 different tables, you don't have time to count exactly your spring rolls and your blah, blah, blah. You just get them all on, you get them out, you plate them up, and then you have your chip bowl. And he was allowed to just scoop out of that chip bowl because he was feeding us 8, 9 pints of Coke in a night.
Jesus Christ, just feed.
And then the pints and the cocktails or whatever. But we're eating away at that as well. Yeah. Jesus Christ. You'd eat more in a service than you would if you had 2-3 square meals.
Oh man, I used to fucking be broke.
And it's all fried or it's all sweet.
Yeah, sure. So like when I was you get drinks, and when I was running the bar in Locks, like you'd be getting drinks orders of like, cool, fucking 4 whiskey sours, no problem, pal. I know I can get 3 fucking whiskey sours into this one mixing glass, and I know I can get 1 into the other. So fuck it. I tell you what, I'll just make enough for 5. And then I'll just have a whiskey sour behind the bar. I might have one of those. Then I'll start passing that shit behind the fucking past. Whoever the lads are there, they'd be all over it. And you set up a nice little barter system for yourself, you know. The thing is here that, like, and I was looking at a can of Coke and a Red Bull there. It's like you're somewhere between 100 and 200 calories, which is actually lower than I thought, to be honest. But again, it's in that range. Now, if you think about having that every single day, and that's just the thing that you're topping yourself up with. Like, if you're just having fucking, let's say you have on average 2 cans of Coke in a day and a Red Bull, that's like fucking 450 calories just from liquid that you're drinking. Do you know what I mean? To keep yourself up. And then you got the picking at shit. And here's the most important thing. The 2 things is not so much pints, that's a different episode, but the fucking binge eating after work is brutal. Especially for bigger chefs, especially chefs who struggle with their weight. You're fucking awful for this. Like binge eating when you get home at night. You'll come home and you'll be picking at small things all day, and then you'll have a can and you'll order yourself 2 pieces and you'll eat the whole fucking thing stoned or whatever. And you'll go to bed and your stomach will be so full and you're like, oh, you wake up feeling like shit and you repeat the process. The lack of structure becomes the structure, and you can't track anything. You don't really know what's coming and going. You don't really know what you're putting into your body. And as a result, your body ends up in 2 different fucking forms. Really, really overweight and unhealthy, or really, really underweight and unhealthy. But both extremely unhealthy. You have to realize that small things accumulate. People don't, like, there's so many things with nutrition that people don't understand. It's like, you know, that's healthy. That doesn't mean anything. It's the same thing as the opposite. Like, you're obviously eating a lot of unhealthy things, chefs, but like, it's the same with a lot of fucking idiots. You know, oh, it's healthy though. Avocado on toast. Avocado on toast. Like, chap, fucking, there's more calories in an avocado on toast than there is in fucking, you know, Nutella on toast. Fact. That's a true statement. It's probably double the calories in, like, I'd say there's about 4 to 5. You put a fuck, imagine those avocado, it's delicious. It's fucking, you know, gluten-free Frappuccino bread, and I picked this avocado out of the fucking, you know, some fucking poet laureate's arsehole up in fucking Paris Court Gardens there. Fuck off. Anyway, you put that on a fucking piece of toast. That's like 400 or 500 calories, pal. You out of your fucking gourd and you think you're eating healthy. You're fucking going straight into the fucking man tit section. Anyway, that's just what most people think. What you see is not what you get. You understand? So it's like the same thing goes with healthy. It's like things accumulate that you don't take into account. Oh, I've been eating fucking, my brother was doing that. My brother, here's a very good example. When I started coaching my brother to start taking better care of himself, when he was working at the top level and he started working towards opening his own place. He's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to start having the shakes. So we started having 2 shakes a day, which is fine if you're putting the right stuff in it. So it was like protein powder, spinach, fucking seeds, berries, a banana, peanut butter, and avocado, and fucking coconut oil. Peanut butter, avocado, and coconut oil, pal.
Fat.
In one fucking shake. Triple fucking decker. And he was doing that twice a day. And he was trying to take better care of himself, and he was putting on fucking weight. And he was doing no exercise, smoking joints and drinking like a cunt, and not drinking, exercising. And he's doing that. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And I looked in the shake and I can see the coat, the film of fat around the blender. And I'm like, man, how much coconut oil and the fucking avocado? Sure, that's healthy. No, man. No. First off, the peanut butter, the avocado, and the coconut oil are more or less doing the fucking same thing. They're all cut from the same cloth in terms of what they are, fats-wise. So pick one and then reduce that and half that, lose the other two. What he did, stop taking the avocado in his shakes, stop putting the coconut oil, and then just put a teaspoon of fucking peanut butter in. What happens? Chap loses 10 kilos in 2 months. Wonder what happened there. The small things accumulate. The thing that you don't even understand is that you're putting in, that's bad. It's not even bad. There's no good or bad with nutrition. There's just inputs and outputs. You get what you put in and you get what you burn. So if you don't fucking burn off enough calories and you eat too many, you're going to get fat. It's that simple. And the opposite is true. If you fucking burn loads of calories and you don't eat that much, you're going to fucking lose weight. Calorie surplus, calorie deficit. It's very fucking simple. Your picking and your grazing is leading you to a point, though, where you are in a massive calorie surplus and nothing is regulated. There's no consistency in your body. It's all over the place. So your body doesn't perform well. On top of you fucking, either losing loads of weight or gaining loads of weight, your body's not performing well because nothing's timed. There's no structure to things. Like, the fact that you're just picking and grazing, your body is never in an alert state as a result of that. Like, you've times for rest and digest, and then you have times for fight or flight. Rest and digest, fight or flight. And when you're eating all the time, just grazing the shit, you're constantly in this rest and digest mode. And that's when your body kind of feels lethargic and tired, which a lot of chefs do, funnily enough. I wonder, was it something to do with the picking? Anyway, because your digestive system...
Oh, it's the industry's fault.
Yeah, exactly, cunts. When you're... when your digestive system is working all the time, you're constantly in this tired, lethargic state. Like, if you fasted for a couple of hours a day, you're the most alert you could possibly be. You're alert because that's fight or flight that happens when you're starving, because you're literally actively searching for food. So you need to structure what you're doing, chef. You need to have specific times that you eat. You don't need, I recommend the fucking way Chef Fit does things, which is super simple. It's like you prep once per week, you have 3 meals a day, and you have a piece of fruit or a protein shake or some nuts as a snack. Like, your 3 meals are rock solid. Try and find consistent times for them. Rinse and repeat. Don't pick at shit. That's it. Done. It's like, is it ketogenic? Is it fucking Paleolithic? Is it fucking, Atkins? Is it
activated?
Yeah. Is it zone fucking diet? Is it up there? I don't know what the fuck it is, pal. But it's very simple, and it gives your body structure, and it gives your body a way to recognize what's happening. Your body likes routine. Your body likes patterns. So you got to give it that, and it will perform at its best if you do. On top of that, as a byproduct of that structure and eating properly, you're also going to be in the best shape you've ever been in. You'll drop weight, your confidence will be through the roof, and happy fucking days. Bob's your uncle, and Mary is your auntie. That's the fucking bottom line, because Stone Cold said so, pal. I'm also admiring the amount of grease on my forehead here. I don't know, is that grease or is that just the sun? I'm just out of the fucking shower.
Out of the shower, and you had a nice fresh trim.
Yeah, pal.
It's a combination. You're glowing, chef. You're glowing. Well, listen, there's a chef that I worked in the last place, right? Big fucking heavy dude, big dude, right? And he was always giving out about how he was, but he always refused to do anything about it,
Yeah.
And his thing was, right, so you've got sourdough baguettes, right? There's the end of a sourdough baguette in the trolley. Every single time he goes past, he rips a bit of that off and he eats it, right? Half the time when he does that, he rips a bit off. He goes to the pound of butter and cuts off a slice of it, puts it on it, and eats it. And then he kind of jokes and he goes, God, and I wonder why I'm so fucking fat, And then he had this epiphany that he said, right, well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can't stop snacking because it's who I am. It's how I go around the kitchen. What I can do is I can snack on healthier things. So it wasn't healthier things. It was, the fat off the bacon, the fat off the pork, the skin off the turkey, meats. He's like, well, it's, at least I'm not eating bread. At least I'm not eating sugars, And he just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
A lot of chefs, I think.
Healthy picking. He says that. It's healthy picking.
Yeah, it's fucking retarded. A lot of heavy chefs are in denial. especially big guys, like a lot of really heavy chefs. I wouldn't have considered you a heavy chef, but I know a lot of heavy chefs that I talk to, especially guys who are like 135, 140 kilos plus. It's like they're living in denial of their situation. I'm going to tell you something for a fact, right? Now, I talked to a guy last week who really fucking let me down. He needed to do this and he ended up bottling, joining the fucking group, right? When he said he would do everything and he didn't. And it's like, that dude doesn't actually see the fucking, like, you're talking people, and he's not the only one. Like, I've talked to guys who are 25, 26 stone chefs, 26 stone. And it's like, if you are 26 stone and you're fucking not even 30 years old, you realize that you will probably be dead by the time you're 45. Like, that's not even a fucking joke. That's not me being a cunt. That's a fact. That is, you are in the red, bright, the fucking DEFCON 3 zone when it comes to type 1, you know what I mean? Fucking diabetic danger list, heart issues, coronary fucking artery problems, you know?
Chefs don't go to doctors, so they're immune to diabetes.
That kind of shit. Like, that's not even to talk about how unhappy you are, how, you know, how your destroyed confidence is impacting relationships if you're in one. That's not even to mention any of that. That's purely from a fucking clinical health perspective, that you are at serious danger zone if you're that overweight. Yeah. So it's like, a lot of them don't even, like, I've had chefs who come into the elite group, guys who smashed it out, you know, and he's like, when I spoke to them first on the phone, it was like, oh, I'm this weight, you know, I'm 120 kilos. And then they did the weigh-in, and it's like, man, I remember getting a message from one of the lads, and it's like, man, I'm 132 kilos. That's a serious kick in the teeth. Like, not even registering where you're going with your body. It's like, once you start getting into that very, very heavy range, and this isn't about fat shaming, this is about getting your fucking shit together. Like, it's not a joke. I'm not here to fucking make a fat joke. I was a fat kid my whole life. I was massively overweight as a fucking teenager. But it's like, you got to realize that is a fucking one-way street to the depths of hell, literally. It's a one-way street to misery. And as you're saying there, it's like that denial. Well, it's healthy picking. That's mental, pal. Picking fucking fat off a bit of bacon and thinking it's healthy. Like,
turkey skin. The world's most tastiest thing in the whole entire world.
Healthy, pal. It's healthy, though. You know?
Yeah, but it's not bread.
You got to realize at somewhere along the lines, just from a fucking health perspective, like, fuck me. Because I know there's so many chefs that are in that shape as well. They're massive, like, you know, and you need to do something, man. You need to stop the fucking, at the very least, let this be a wake-up call. At the very least, even if this hurts your feelings, be like, okay, cool, but now I'm aware of what the fuck, that sounds like me. I'm fucking picking a turkey skin and fucking fat off bacon and thinking it's healthy. It's like, no, man. You can't be fucking at that shit. Be aware of the small details. Start structuring how you're eating. Start focusing on eating fucking protein and greens, meat and greens. Like, you can mix it up with a bit of starch, potatoes, rice, grains, happy days. Cut the fucking bread for a while. Cut the fucking sugary shit. Cut the pasta. Cut the fizzy drinks. Start drinking more water. Start drinking less coffee. And it's like, start just being aware of what you're putting into your body. You know, and start setting rules for yourself. Like, structure is everything. So you need to give yourself that simplistic structure to follow so you can't fail. That's it in a nutshell. Simple as. Face the fucking man in the mirror.
What about fruit, Cam? That keeps popping up.
Yeah, fruit's the past while. Like, obviously, I used to do this as well. I used to do
it as well. Though I do have banana every day. I do have one piece of fruit every day.
Totally.
But I was having my banana in the morning, and then when I come home, I'd crack open a box of grapes and a pineapple. Yeah. And then I was like, hold on a second, this is still, okay, it's clean, but this is still a fuck ton of sugar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know it's a lot cleaner, but it's still, so if you're picking away at fruit as well all day.
But that's the rationalization. I was like, when I was powerlifting, I had that mentality because I didn't used to eat greens. That was quite funny. Didn't used to eat right? When I was trying to be...
I don't like vegetables.
Yeah. And I actually did.
I get enough in me fruit.
I actually did. I fucking hate fruit, right? Have you ever seen fucking Spin the Bottle? Have you?
Fruits for faggots. I've heard that so many times.
Fucking brutal, lads. So when we look at it for a second, it's like, I said this analogy before, but the fruit is just a tool. It's like, I can give you the hammer and you can fucking kill a granny with a hammer. You can build houses in Africa with a hammer. It's like, it's how you're using it. So fruit's fine, but like, I've had chefs who've gone from, well, I don't have any real sugar anymore. I don't have fucking chocolates anymore. So and they're eating like fucking 3 bananas a day, 3 fucking apples, a fucking pineapple, and load of melon and fucking, grapefruit. And it's like, okay, cool. Let's take a step back here and actually see what we're doing. The reality is your blood sugars are fucking, think about sugar in general. Your blood sugars get spiked to fuck. And all of a sudden,
constantly, and it's being kept up there as well, yeah.
So it's like, just think about what comes with high blood sugars. It's like, you're constantly fucking hungry. You're constantly like, agitated, and you feel fucking weird. It's not like, the fruit is perfect before or after gym sessions because you're using up that glycogen in your muscles. So it's like, you need to fucking hone in on those times. But if you're waking up and it's like, first thing is fruit, that's not a good call. Fruit late at night, probably not a good call. You know what I mean? You don't need to be exceeding 3 or 4. If you're having more than 3 pieces a day, probably need to dial it in. Don't be a dick around that. And don't use that excuse of, it's healthy. Listen, anything's fucking healthy. But if you have the wrong dosages of things, the damage is always in the dosage. So, like, keep your fruit fucking to a certain amount per day and you're grand, But before and after training sessions, happy days. Outside of that, don't be a dickhead. And don't just think because you stopped eating chocolate bars and now you eat bananas and fucking all of that shit that you're safe. It's like, be conscious of what's happening. Nutrition is based on facts, like a program and a computer. It doesn't lie. The computer does not lie. So you just need to fucking understand that whatever you're putting in, you get out. So you might be aware of what you're putting in, but again, you need to become more aware so you get the ideal result out. With that in mind, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, motherfuckers. Give us a subscribe. Give us a share. Give us a fucking tag with one of your mates if you feel they need to hear this shit. If they're picking at fucking turkey skin. And Podbean, iTunes, give us a solid review. Subscribe to the channel and share it on your various platforms, my friends.
We're there. We're everywhere.
That's our episode for today. Stay safe.
Peace.
Peace.